Let's see if I can't stay awake through this. What? Just 14 more minutes. Yeah, this juice is weird. Slow mode is on. No, no, there we go. I'm guessing that they're gonna give us the new character and then be like, hey, here's the next one. That's my guess. Ew, people are saying Luffy and Goku. I'm like, no, leave, go. Shoo. Rayman won't happen. Shadow won't happen. Pingu. Spyro, maybe, probably not. Sora, that's my... Okay, my guesses are Sora, Dante, and Phoenix Wright. Those are my guesses. To log in. I think that's my password. It is my password. I'm just gonna play like 10 minutes of Minecraft. So yeah, it's like 9 a.m. almost. I haven't been asleep yet. I have to work today. But I didn't want to wake up and have this spoiled. So I stayed up. But I don't work until 6 today, so it's fine. Alpharad's live. I would love to watch you, Alpharad, but I'm currently doing my own stream. Where did Minecraft go? I want a peppermint stick. Where did my Minecraft go? There it is. So really, like, I was like, my guesses could be any of them, because it could be Kingdom Hearts 3, Devil May Cry 3, or it could be the Phoenix Wright trilogy. You never know. Don't have a chest at this one. go. I forget how I go to where I can view my chat. There we go. Not that anybody's there. Oh, yeah. I like how it says that slow mode is on, but I still can't. I just see Halo, Goku, Jotaro. That's all I see. I've never seen these before. I don't know what the fuck they are. I can only assume food. Yep. Travis touchdown would be cool. I want to see a hammer. Okay. It should be starting in a second now. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do.
Edda, and I got to go completely surprised into the Bayonetta announcement, and ooh, that was such a fun reveal. I mean, hey, if
Gonna watch my boy watch the stream.
if we did not get leaks, I would not have made my Daisy Ridley tweet at E3 this year or last year. Ball Guy Me outfit. Oh no, I definitely think we're getting Ball Guy Me costume whenever they release Gen 8 rep. Or Astral Chain. That's yeah, I don't know. Oh, it is 8. So let me close out of this. Open this. And now we just wait. Yep. Oh, I just muted it. You guys. Oh.
Nope. Here we go.
Oh. All right. Hello, Sakurai. Tell us who you got. Because we just don't know. We know literally nothing.
We'll be using today's showcase to give you a first look at our next DLC fight.
Oh, I love it when you guys do this.
Actually, hardly anyone knows what we'll be announcing today.
Oh, that's badass.
Oh, come on. Okay. Okay, cool. I made it just in time. Fire Emblem rep. I'm okay with that.
The time has finally come to unleash the forbidden spell of Zaharat upon our enemies!
DLC characters from third party. Now I'm just ready for the comments to be like, oh, more sword characters.
What were you thinking, charging right into an enemy's
I
trap?
like sword characters.
As you and I are one, I too am trapped within this void. In time, our hearts and minds will cease to be. Are you prepared to die?
Yep.
I thought as much. I also do not wish to die. And yet,
Sorry, Alfred, your stream is too laggy.
there is no other choice. You must join Smash.
Huh?
Join Smash Brothers already! What in the world are you waiting for?
Okay. Join
So joining Smash consumes even the darkness itself.
Okay. I mean, we got Robin and Garrick, so why would we get Violet? Okay. So it's like, go through and start that way.
So you return, and sooner than expected. I see. Too many swordsmen, are there? And you wield the sword as well? What will you do?
Okay, so... Oh?
Huh. So that is how you plan to win the day?
Okay, so they're aware.
So be it. I reward your cleverness this time. How is this?
Okay. Violet recruits Violet. So Violet uses 4 weapons.
Of anyone, you should be able to handle the hero's relics. With Arid Fire, strike with superior reach.
Okay.
Use Amir's overwhelming power.
Okay, so
Unleash the blinding speed of Failnaught. Along with the Sword of the Creator, each weapon matches a direction. Your will and mine be now as one! To you, both sides of time are revealed! Through Smash, show the world!
Okay. I like Fire Emblem. I'm okay with it.
Yes, there you have it. Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses is joining the battle. Fire Emblem Three Houses was released just last summer, so it's still very new. Even so, you'll soon be able to play as them in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
How soon?
This release is planned for January 28th. You'll have instant access if you have the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass, and it will also be available for purchase individually. In case you're not familiar with Fire Emblem or Three Houses, I'll explain a few things, so don't worry. First off, what is Fire Emblem?
Half your roster.
It's really hard to pronounce in Japanese. The producer said it's okay if I just say Fire Emblem. But when writing it, if you don't write Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem police will come and get you, so please be careful.
What the fuck is an emblem? Yeah, no,
The series' first entry launched in Japan on the Famicom in 1990. You could say it was a pioneer in the genre of tactical role-playing games. You might be wondering what makes it particularly tactical. Well, it's tactical in that it simulates combat. You can think of it as moving pieces in a board game. Or in other words, a game in which you advance units across a grid and battle.
It seems like Violet is still going to be primarily a swordsman.
When we talk about tactical games of that era, there were lots of ones in which you command tanks, aircrafts, and so on. But Fire Emblem was unique because each unit was a specific character, sort of like in role-playing games.
But it's still Violet is still primarily a
Plus,
sword fighter.
something made it stand out from other Nintendo
Specials
products.
are going to be.
Characters could permanently die. That's pretty direct language though, so perhaps we should just say they're sleeping with the fishes.
That's if I had to guess.
But really, if a character fell in battle, you'd lose that unit. They'd be gone and you couldn't use them again.
I don't know.
Recent entries in the series maintain this concept of permadeath to some degree in classic mode and what have you. But a lot of games now allow strategic withdrawals, so to speak. In the older games, your units would really be gone, never to be mentioned again. Scary. The game's stories are told like chronicles of war, with increasingly distinct characters and engrossing scenarios. Several characters also appear in the Super Smash Bros. Series, and 6 of the 7 who use a counterattack. It's their down special.
Like I said, we got Robin.
There's actually a reason for this. When I was considering how to incorporate Fire Emblem fighters into Super Smash Bros. Melee, I thought it might be interesting to reflect the turn-based nature of the original game. First comes your opponent's turn. They attack and you counter. Next comes your turn.
That means
And now, Fire Emblem Three Houses is the 17th game in the series.
other than Robin.
People who aren't Japanese in particular might be thinking, 17 games? There are that many? Well, if you include Fire Emblem Heroes in the remakes, but you don't include the Satellaview game, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, and Fire Emblem Warriors, then it comes out to 17 games. Let's try saying them in the Fire Emblem Can You Say It challenge. I'll give it a try.
暗黒竜と光の剣、外伝、紋章の謎、聖戦の系譜、トラキア776、封印の剣、烈火の剣、聖魔の功績、荘園の奇跡、暁の女神、新暗黒竜、新紋章、覚醒イフ、ヒーローズ、エコーズ、風化雪月。
There you go, 17.
今、変な数え方してます。
So you saw how I was counting in a weird way, right? I was counting in binary.
つまり、これが
This is 0. Fold this here and you get 1, and then you get 2. Then 2 plus 1 equals 3. So this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you get 16. Add 1 and you get 17.
Okay.
Awesome, isn't it? You can actually count up to 31 on one hand. And if you use both hands, you can count all the way up to 1023. If you've given up counting the knots in a tatami mat, you could always give it a go.
Thank you, Sakurai.
What is Fire Emblem Three Houses?
That's we didn't know that.
In Japanese, the male version of the main character is called Bereto and the female version is called Beresu, but in English they share the same name, Byleth. Byleth becomes a professor who ends up leading one of 3 academic houses.
Extensive amounts of time into this.
Once you've chosen a house, you guide them through their school life and, well, you end up fighting the other houses.
Wow, holy shit, 5 people.
After a certain incident, 5 years pass, and you meet up with your grown-up students to battle against the other houses in their regions. It's a very sad game in which your former allies become enemies, turn hostile, and try to kill you.
Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude, but
To understand the concept of Fire Emblem Three Houses, I played an early version of the game before its release. I've done the same thing before, with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example. Because I couldn't wait until launch to experience it, or we'd have never made it in time. For that title, I borrowed an early version of the game for 2 days, ran around all the areas, saw the ending, and realized for the first time, I guess we can't really have Breath of the Wild's Princess Zelda as a fighter. I did the same this time, but with there being 3 houses and multiple endings, it was really hard to get a feel for it.
I like to think that.
And of course, there weren't any walkthroughs I could reference.
Someone tell me what the past tense is.
The game has multiple routes, and the outcome of each is very different. Your experience will vary depending on the route you choose, and many of the characters you meet will adopt different roles in the story.
But it looks like.
I'll try to avoid spoilers when I'm talking about the fighter. I hope you'll understand.
Kind of like Delphino Island.
Before my demonstration, I should point out that when I did the Terry Bogard showcase video, I mentioned that it was recorded a month in advance. But this time, we have to account for the holidays and such, so we're filming 2 months in advance of this video's release. Right now, it's actually November. Therefore, some of what I'm about to show you might differ a bit from the finished version. As always, I'm using a special in-game camera and such for demonstration purposes. Here I go. So, this is our new fighter, Byleth. Sadly, they're lacking in mobility. It's maybe a bit better than Robin's, but that's about all you can say for them. Throws are not their strong point either. Their grab lacks range. But actually, you could say that they're distance demon.
With the
hero's relic they use changes depending on the direction you input with the stick. Each of the hero's relics is a weapon that appears in Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Okay, so it's smash
They look
attacks?
like bones, and there's a reason for that. First, let's talk about the weapon Byleth uses for upward inputs, the Sword of the Creator. The Sword of the Creator here is Byleth's default weapon. They use it for flurry attacks and tilt attacks, such as down tilt attacks, where it takes the form of a whip. They also use the sword for dash attacks and other moves.
Yeah.
For their up smash attack, they'll whip the sword upward to launch enemies in the air.
Almost. Well, it's like
For their
Belmont
up air
sword,
attack,
Belmont jab.
they'll wave the whip sword overhead. The hit detection for this attack lasts for a relatively long time. The up special move is really something. The sword extends like this, allowing you to do things like
Joker's
this.
grapple hook. Definitely. Oh, okay.
It was pretty terrifying how I knocked him into the air with that attack. And in addition,
Oh, and it spikes. Oh, that's disgusting.
you can do awful things like
Oh,
this.
that's disgusting.
That said, you'll launch opponents upward until their damage reaches a certain percentage. Exceed that percentage and you'll need to be careful. You may find it helpful to mid-air dodge. I've already shown this, but you can also use it to latch onto edges. So that's the up special. Now for the sideways inputs. This is Erdvar, the same name as the weapon from Celtic mythology.
Dimitri's Land.
First, we'll go through the forward and back air attacks. As you can see, they have a long reach. Like so. Marth's air attack keeps opponents in check too, right? If Byleth does the same thing, you'd win out, so you should be able to beat it.
Okay, so it's got
Next,
more
the
range
side
than
smash
Mars.
attack. This also has a long range. It'll connect even from here.
Okay, yeah, that's
Also, if you add an upward tilt, it will be stronger.
Oh, that's gross.
And if you've knocked an opponent down, the side attack won't hit unless you add a downward tilt to aim for them. By the way, the tip of the lance is more powerful.
Okay, so it's a tipper.
The shaft part is weaker, so it's not suited to close combat. It won't deal much damage, and it won't launch opponents far.
Okay, but that can be used to set up combos.
That's why, as a rule, you want to hit with the blade part aimed upward, or downward in this case. Next, the side special move.
Okay.
Byleth will simply swing the lance like this, but again, it has excellent reach. For example, even when your opponent is at this distance, it'll still hit.
Oh, that can hit through platforms. Oh, that's nasty.
Actually, you can do a smash attack to charge forward a little, like this.
And you can move during it. Oh.
But as you'd expect, it can be easily shielded, so be careful.
That's got some shield pressure, I bet, though.
Use it in midair and you'll carve up a large area.
Okay.
Returning to the side air attacks from earlier, they have great horizontal reach, but they lack verticality. So this complements it well, although you'll be vulnerable when you land. Now, for the downward inputs. For these, Byleth will use an axe called Emir. It's named after a weapon that appears in Ugaritic myth. First, the down air attack. It really is strong.
Oh. Oh, that one did 19.
You can try for a meteor effect with this attack.
Spikes off ledge.
Next
Spikes
is the
off
down
ledge.
smash attack. A heavy swing of the axe back and forth. As you can see, it has a great deal of launch power.
Slow, though.
And for the down special, Byleth channels all their energy into a devastating strike. It's a bold move, similar to the Falcon Punch, but here's what makes it different. When readying the move, there's a super armor effect. which allows you to withstand an attack.
Okay.
Just so you know, if you execute a Falcon Punch at about the same time, it plays out like this. It's a bit slower than the Falcon Punch, but due to the super armor effect, you have the advantage. Unless you get grabbed.
Okay.
Another notable aspect is that it lets you pass through platforms. While you're charging up, you can breeze past platforms like this to reach a lower area. It won't let you jump, but you could use it as a surprise attack.
That's still.
Also, you can turn around during the move. The swing takes a while, so if an opponent runs behind you during the move, you can quickly change direction. Even though it can be hard to land a hit with this move, it can be really effective when used against a group of opponents.
I don't see that being
Plus,
super
even if you
popular
fail
in
to land a
meta.
direct hit, any opponents on the ground nearby will still be launched a little.
Okay, yeah, but you don't have time to set up a combo.
It's as if the quaking of the ground launches them. By the way, earlier I talked a little bit about the other Fire Emblem characters' moves. I don't recommend using this down special against fighters from the Fire Emblem series, because you'll just get loads of counters. It hits with that much power in a single attack. Counters can actually multiply the power of blocked attacks, and using easily anticipated attacks like this can just get you hit by counter after counter. Next, we have the neutral moves. The bow you use is called Failna, which shares its name with the bow from the Knights of the Round Table. It only appears in a few neutral moves. You've got the neutral air attack. This attack is similar to a move of Pit's and other fighters like it. It lets you spin the weapon around.
That's the air.
It's also easy to create certain combos with it. And with the neutral special, you'll let loose an arrow. It seems pretty straightforward, right? But there are a few noteworthy aspects to this bow. First, the biggest difference between this bow and Link's is that once you enter the command, you can keep charging until it's ready. You can't release it partway through the charge, so when it does fire, the arrow travels at high speed.
Okay, so
it's
you
also
can't
very
just,
powerful.
Like,
that said, you can still cancel out of the stance using the shield button. You can also change direction while in the stance.
okay.
It works up until this point, but if you keep holding the button, you'll unleash a powerful arrow that looks like a beam of light.
Oh, that's disgusting.
You can perform this move by keeping the button held down. You charge up power like so, charge a bit more, and then fire. But again, you'll need to take care when using this move. For one, when you've powered up the move to its max, there's no way to cancel out of it. Not even with the shield button. In other words, you're committed to firing it. So you see, a situation like this is pretty terrible.
That's gonna be dangerous. I don't see that being like a
Once you've entered the stance,
move in Violet's
you won't be able to do anything.
Yep.
Which means it's quite the risky attack to use against fighters who have a move with a reflector effect. But you could always just aim into the fray, as it is, after all, a long-range move, letting you deal a sudden blow to opponents. So you need to think carefully when using this projectile weapon. Violet's final smash is called Progenitor God Ruptured Heaven. In the original game, there's a move called Ruptured Heaven. This is an enhanced version. As you can see, you team up with the mysterious Sothis and launch an attack together. Now, let's talk about the color variations. It's set up so that the default and odd-numbered color variations are male, while the even-numbered ones are female. However, the third, fourth, and fifth colors are, as you can see, reminiscent of the house leaders. Those of you who played the original game will of course understand what I'm referring to. The sixth color is based on Sothis, who you just saw earlier. And the seventh and eighth variations have a different hair color, which is based on something that occurs in the course of the original game's story. Didn't we see this variation in the final smash?
Yep.
Yeah.
Next, I'll introduce the stage. For this one, we of course tried to recreate the place where you spend most of the game, Garrick Monastery. This is how Garrick Monastery is laid out in the original game. From these, we chose to have it cycle through the marketplace, reception hall, bridge, and cathedral all in one stage.
Okay.
It's the type of stage that rotates through different areas, such as these four. Let me introduce each of the guests that appear in these four areas. The first area is the marketplace.
Yeah, Dimitri.
I think this is where a lot of people come to do their shopping. The guests that appear here are students of the Blue Lion's house, Dimitri, Dedu, and Ingrid. Not Dimitri, Dudu, or Ingrid. Their names are a bit difficult to say. They're largely from the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. Since it's a kingdom, that means they have a monarchy. For that reason, I guess you could say Dimitri's the future king. He had quite a difficult life and may or may not end up with just one eye. He's an unfortunate one, that one.
Punish Dimitri.
There are vendors on either side. In the original game, these are important booths where you buy all sorts of things, but here you can break them, you see.
As you should.
If you do break them, the stage will expand to the left and right.
Okay.
I wonder where people will buy their supplies now. And in the background, you can see the
Best
gatekeeper.
character in the game.
You often pass through this area in Fire Emblem 3 houses, and you end up talking to him a lot. Moving through these areas is possible thanks to this mysterious platform. Just when it seems like you've come to a stop, you'll come crashing back down. We've broken through the ceiling and slammed into the building. And the guests in the reception hall are Edelgard, Dorothea, and Petra of the Black Eagles. Take note, it's not spelled Edelgard. They're from the Adressian Empire. And as such, they embrace their military might.
Best house.
Edelgard is one of the characters who is central to the conflict. Depending on the path you take, she'll go through some terrible ordeals. You'll notice there are prominent chandeliers above the stage. It's possible to knock them down.
So like in the boxing ring.
However, Byleth can't actually reach it, even though it's their stage. You can reach it with other fighters, though.
Okay.
So, it's nice if you can work your way up there by getting lucky and being launched up, or perhaps by using another fighter as a stepping stone. There we go, I made it. And you can knock it down. Also, you can break this table. Like
you
so.
can break this table. Thank you, Sakurai.
Just like the sign that reads Fudin Kazan in the Suzaku Castle stage, it can break if you launch the opponent into it at close range. Next up, the bridge. The camera rotates 90 degrees, creating this long area. It's very wide indeed.
Golden Deer. Fuck you, Lawrence. Hilda's good.
It's similar to the Bridge of Elden stage.
Claude.
The guests are from the Golden Deer, Claude, Hilda, and Lawrence.
Fuck you, Lawrence.
They belong to the
I
Leicester
have the same
Alliance.
birthday as that stupid purple-haired fucker.
Because it's an alliance of many noble families, you could say that they have a wide assortment of members. And Claude is the sharpest of the bunch. Incidentally, both Claude and Hilda are the names of characters that appear in Genealogy of the Holy War, the 4th title in the Fire Emblem series. I guess once you've reached the 17th game and are creating 40 characters for each new entry, you're bound to get a bit of name overlap.
Yeah.
The naming process must be tough. Hey, it looks like the Pegasus Knight is busy training. As for the bridge's design, it's just a long pathway, plain and simple. You can expect plenty of blows to be exchanged at the edges of the screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say the edges are blast zones.
You could also say it's a place where the fail knot really shines, and in this sense, I think it suits the Golden Deer perfectly.
Claude uses the bow.
The last area is the cathedral,
Flying right.
only with some platforms you can pass through. The guests appearing in the cathedral are Seta, Flame, and Rhea. There's Seteth, who appears to have an extremely strong bond with his sister, Flame. She seems to be under the protection of him and Rhea, who you can see fighting during the opening of Fire Emblem Three Houses. All three have character quirks related to their true identities.
Okay. Spoil the whole
I
game
feel
for
that
ya.
Flame might be saying shush at this point, so I'll leave it at that.
For the best.
This is a simple area of the stage. All it has are these platforms.
Okay.
Being the last area, it may be a place where some intense battles will be waged. It'll cycle through each location in about 2.5 minutes.
Okay. Here's what I want to say.
Okay, today we'll have a tag team battle in Squad Strike with the DLC team pitted against Fire Emblem protagonists from throughout the ages. That'll give us precisely 5 players per side. Alright, here we go, Joker. Joker!
I love you, Sakurai.
And
My
Hero!
boy. Farewell, my boy.
Gee, we really made a lot, huh? Banjo!
I was hoping he'd win on stage.
By now, I think you know what I'm doing. But basically, I'm trying to defeat all 5 opponents with just the Professor gear. But as expected, it's going to be a pretty tough battle, so I'm using anything I can get my hands on. It's not going to land that easily. Uh-oh, this is bad.
I can only help but think this is scripted because I've seen Sakurai play Smash Bros.
I better keep
with,
my distance.
Like playing multiplayer with
I'll
one
use this
hand
chance to
each
attack.
and still
Got it.
like have like top level
That's
play.
scary. He's invincible for a moment here.
And so I know Sakurai can play better.
Lots of explosives. Ouch. Perfect shielded that, huh? Good one. If I do this, or like so. No anti-air, huh? There, the soccer ball connected.
And so down tilt is just I'm pretty sure that's just a Belmont down tilt.
Good, there's Mom.
Mom, don't call Mother Brain Mom.
You're in a good spot, Mom. Ah, I shouldn't have taken that. Gardevoir. Well, I guess no one uses projectiles. At this point, it doesn't matter if Gardevoir's there or not. I feel like the enemy might get this Smash Ball. See? They got it. But I mustn't give up. I can't waste the chance.
Oh, that is so gross.
There's another Smash Ball. Yes, got it. Now! What are you charging up for? There's still more. Whack! Go on, you can take the hammer, but it's mine. Although I'm scared I might get hit with a counter in this state. I hit him! I was trying to fight using Byleth's abilities alone, but what matters is that I won. Good game.
GG's, CPU, GG's.
It can be fun to play like this, especially in tag team, so I think it's a good idea to try imposing different types of challenges on yourself. The end. Now, about the additional music. Since it's from the Fire Emblem series, we'll be adding each of the new tracks to all the Fire Emblem stages.
Right.
There are already a lot of Fire Emblem tracks in the game. Our selection this time has been made taking those existing tracks into consideration. 11 songs are being added.
Okay.
This includes an arrangement of the main theme in both Japanese and English. I hope you'll enjoy these as well.
Not bad. Track.
We're also adding in a new spirit board. It includes the house leaders among some of the other popular characters.
So this is over there, yep.
Sothis is Legend class. Also, there's a new classic mode route, a Heroic Legacy, which is designed to let you enjoy classic Fire Emblem stages from throughout the series' history. The final battle is against Master Hand and Crazy Hand, but you'll find that something pretty amusing happens, so look forward to that. Now for the Mii Fighter costumes. Please take a look.
Peppermint. Okay. Assassin's Creed as a Mii fighter costume. That's interesting. I wish I could say I were upset. I really wish I could say I were upset. What am I meant to down there. I would hope they wouldn't throw an axle. Battle Network! Mega Man.exe! Oh shit, what up? A Cuphead skin. Okay. And we include music. Yeah, I love that. That makes me happy. Okay. Okay. I can...
This time, we're releasing a Cuphead costume. And for those of you who purchased the Cuphead costume, an additional song will be added. It's called Floral Fury, and it's the theme that plays when fighting Cagney Carnation. I hope you enjoy these as well. After purchasing a costume, I recommend using the sharing feature. If someone has created a Mii fighter, you can play using the costume it's wearing immediately after you download it. And now, onto the amiibo.
Richter and Dark Samus.
The color palette for Dark Samus looks pretty good, doesn't it?
That actually does.
Dark Samus and Richter are planned for release on Friday, January 17th. And now, with the addition of Violet, the Fighter's Pass is finally complete. The lineup was Joker, Hero, Banjo and Kazooie, Terry Bogard, and Violet.
Still intrigued.
From more than 70 fighters, only 5 have been added. But I must say, this game has always been an exceptional experience. And since the roster was already so large to begin with, right from the start, we intended to make the most out of the new gameplay mechanics and so on. There really were a lot of new mechanics, weren't there? When we add a new fighter, we don't simply make their attacks or their movements a little different. Instead, we try to offer you a whole new style of play. As I stated, we'll continue to release more DLC fighters down the line. I had thought that 1 or 2 might suffice, but, well, have a look.
Are you just gonna reveal all the 5? Okay. Oh! Oh! 6 more characters.
Looks like there will be 1 more fighter than last time.
Okay.
For this reason, we will be releasing the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2. It will be available for pre-purchase on the date shown, so please keep an eye out.
End of next year.
And now that it's official, we intend to move ahead with development. Of course, like last time, the contents will remain unknown for now, and I'm personally very sorry that we have to release Fighters Pass Volume 2 when the details have yet to be revealed. Like last time, I'd be very grateful if, despite that, you would understand why and purchase it. Furthermore, the new additions have already been decided. Even if I receive many requests regarding potential candidates on Twitter, I'm afraid it would be very hard to consider them. But I still hope you'll look forward to it. We're also including a bonus with Fighters Pass Volume 2. Last time, it was a Rex costume, but this time, here's what we have. It's a Mii Fighter costume for Mii Sword Fighter, the ancient soldier gear from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's neat, I guess.
This will not be for sale individually, so it can only be acquired as part of Fighters Pass Volume 2.
That's neat, I guess. Show me who the first character is, though.
It's been reported that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the highest-selling fighting game in the world.
Should be.
Personally, I don't know if it counts as simply a fighting game, but I guess it's seen as a fighting game around the world.
It's a fighting game.
Seems like Street Fighter 2 was in the lead for a while, but now Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has surpassed it in total sales.
Wow, that's
However,
actually
I'm not sure if this is accurate. There were 5 versions of Street Fighter 2, or 6 to 7 if we really want to get into the weeds. Plus, there's the arcade versions and the 25 ports to other systems, so I don't know if that's been accounted for. Also, I don't know if that really qualifies as one game. It's up for discussion. So, who knows? But when it comes to a single piece of software, it seems like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is number 1.
Show me the first character.
Although, I still don't know if it can really be called just a fighting game. I feel like it's become more than a fighting game, some sort of celebration of gaming or something else entirely. Also, I feel a deep attachment to the 5 DLC fighters. The first Fighters Pass just wrapped up, but it was decided that there will be more DLC, which means no breaks for me. I plan to keep working hard, so I hope you can continue to support us. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. That's it, boys and girls. That is all she wrote. Oh. So yeah, Byleth. Okay. I'll probably stream Persona 3 later tonight. But until then, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go get some sleep. Bye, everybody.